Good morning, guys. Let's start class.
Good morning, sir.
Guys, am I audible first?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there any
Yes.
voice breaking? Is there any voice
No,
breaking? No. Okay, we're good to go. Share my screen and it should be there. Okay, so yesterday we did quite a few properties with inverse trigonometric functions, and we did this important graph here. Right, a similar graph goes for sine inverse sin x also. You know how tan inverse tan x goes. What about tan inverse tan x? How does that graph go? It goes like this. Okay. Cot inverse cot x will also be similar. Is that there is a problem with the Wacom? 1 second. Some problem or the other just keep coming up. Yeah. Better. Okay, guys, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
So, yeah, so today is much better than yesterday, hopefully. So let's start the new ones. So tan inverse x plus tan inverse y will be what? Will this be tan inverse x plus tan inverse y? Come on. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have you done this in school before? Inverse trigonometric functions?
Yes, sir.
This should be a cakewalk. What is this?
Tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus x.
Minus xy. Correct, correct, correct. Right. But for this whole thing to be true, okay, for this to be true, there is a set of conditions applied. Okay, x should be greater than 0, y should be greater than 0, and 1 minus xy should also be greater than 0, which means xy should be less than 1. Okay, that's it. Okay, so these are the conditions required for this to be satisfied. Tan inverse x plus tan inverse y equal to tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. So tan inverse will return an angle either in the fourth quadrant or the first quadrant. Okay, like you can think of it as the -1 quadrant and the first quadrant, the quadrant just below the first quadrant. Okay, that's also the fourth quadrant. So here I am saying that x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0, which means this is first quadrant, this is first quadrant. Okay, and this xy less than 1 hmm, is another way of making sure that x plus by 1 minus xy, the whole thing is positive. In the sense that if x is positive, if y is positive, okay, this should also be positive, right? For the whole thing to be positive. For that, 1 minus xy should be greater than 0. In other words, xy is less than 1. Okay, so that keeps the whole thing positive, or in other words, this plus this equal to this means this is the first quadrant angle. This is the first quadrant angle. And the sum should also be a first quadrant angle. That's the idea. Okay, got it? Okay. So this tan inverse x, if I call that alpha, the angle alpha, tan inverse y is the angle beta. Okay. Alpha plus beta should be less than pi by 2 for this to work. Got that?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
so this is one. These are like a couple of ways of thinking about the same thing. Okay. I hope you got this. All right. Now, what happens if alpha is positive, like x is greater than 0, beta is positive, in other words, y is greater than 0, but xy is greater than 1, what will happen then?
The whole thing becomes negative.
Okay, exactly. The RHS becomes negative. All right, the LHS remains positive and expected value will be in the second quadrant, right? Because alpha plus beta is greater than pi by 2. Okay. All right. So here, tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. Okay, it's given that xy is greater than 1. All right, so the numerator is positive because I already gave that x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0. But the denominator will be negative, which means the RHS is negative. Okay, which means this angle is in the fourth quadrant or minus one quadrant, think like that. 0 to minus pi by 2. Okay, now what happens to the sum? You're expecting the sum in the second quadrant, but you're getting a sum in the fourth quadrant. So what do you do to get the right answer?
Add pi.
You add pi to this, exactly. All right. That's it. It becomes pi plus tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. For xy greater than 1, x greater than 0, y greater than 0. Got this? Any doubts here?
No.
Okay, so
no, sir.
if you get a negative angle x, negative angle y, and all, you can manage it. You just convert it to positive and then deal with it. Okay? Just look at the value of xy. That's all you need to worry about. Not that. Now let's look at tan inverse x minus tan inverse y. Okay, so this will be equal to tan inverse x minus y by 1 plus xy if xy is greater than minus 1. Which means if this is positive and x minus y, let it be whatever. Okay. Right, so note this down as well. Noted it down. Let's move to some properties. Okay. Some property. And no, sorry, let's move to some questions. That's what I meant. Okay, there's a result I want you to remember as well. I want to mention that tan inverse x1 plus tan inverse x2 all the way up till tan inverse xn. Okay, so you have to add these multiple angles. Okay. So how do you deal with that? It will be tan inverse S1 minus S3 plus S5 and so on divided by 1 minus S2 plus S4 minus S6 and so on. Guys, did you understand what this is?
So what is S, sir?
Okay. Good. Okay. So S1 is X1 plus X2 plus x3 all the way up till xn. S3, sorry, S2 will be x1, x2 plus x1, x3 plus x1, x4 plus x2, x3 plus x2, x4 and so on. Basically, S1 was the sum of these terms, x1, x2 all the way up to xn taken one at a time. This is the sum taken two at a time. So you know what S3, S5 is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So S3 is sum taken 3 at a time, S5 is sum taken 5 at a time, and so on. So this is the pattern. And you must have noted, look, what is tan of x plus y? Tan x plus tan y by 1 minus tan x tan y, right? I'll change x and y to a and b so that you don't get confused here. Okay. What is this here? Let's take the, so this is another version of this, okay? So this is not the same thing. These two are not the same thing, all right? But you can relate to it. If I remove this tan here and put it as tan inverse here, okay, then it becomes the same thing. What is happening? Tan inverse x is A. Tan inverse x2 is B. Tan inverse x1 is A. Tan inverse x2 is B. So then tan of tan inverse x1 is x1 itself. So this is nothing but x1 plus x2 divided by 1 minus x1 x2, which is S1, sum taken one at a time, divided by 1 minus sum taken two at a time. There is no sum taken three at a time. That's why the rest of it is ignored. Okay. So think about tan of A plus B plus C. What happens here? This is how you will remember the formula. Tan of A plus B plus C will be S1 minus S3. So there are three terms here. So S1 is A, sorry, tan A plus tan B plus tan C minus tan A, tan B, tan C divided by 1 minus tan A, tan B, this is in the bracket, plus tan B, tan C plus tan A, tan C. Got this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you show the formula once?
Yeah. This is pretty useful for JEE. So take good note of this.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So I was thinking we'll do a problem, but we'll just note down the properties first and then start doing problems using the properties. Okay. So next one would be sin inverse x plus sin inverse y. Okay. What will this be? Is call this angle A and call this angle B. What do you have here? A plus B. And if you take sine of A plus B, what is sine of A plus B? Sin A cos B plus
Cos A sin B.
sin B. Okay. So understand here. Sin inverse x is equal to A, which means x is equal to sin A. Sin inverse y is equal to B, which means y is equal to sin B. So what is cos A? That depends on which quadrant A is in. But either way, you write it as root of 1 minus x squared. And cos B will be root of 1 minus y squared. We'll be assuming the angles to be positive. Right? In the first quadrant. Then, what happens here? Sin inverse x plus sin inverse y will be equal to, okay, sin A plus B will be equal to sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. What is sin A? X. Cos B, root 1 minus y squared. Cos A is root 1 minus x square sine b is y. All right. Now, this is equal to sine of a plus b. So I'll move the sign to this side. I'll take the inverse function on both the sides. So a plus b, which is sine inverse x plus sine inverse y, equal to sine inverse x root 1 minus y square plus y root 1 minus x square. Right? Here, you can think of a subcondition here. X square plus y square is less than or equal to 1. Okay, this is the subcondition here. This makes sure both the angles are in the first quadrant. That's all. Okay, x square plus y square less than or equal to 1. Make sure of that. But then you have to make sure that x and y is greater than 0 as well. All right. Any doubts here? So,
Yes, sir.
if the sum of these angles is greater than pi by 2, can I get a sine inverse value? Look at the RHS. Sine. This is an RHS which will be between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. But suppose this angle was pi by 3 and this angle was pi by 3. Can it come out as an output of this? No, it can't. Right? Can't happen, guys. 2 pi by 3 is in the second quadrant. You can't get a second quadrant out of this. So what do? What will happen here, basically? Basically, what will happen here is that this you see here will become negative value. Okay. So, what will happen next?
Sir, the sine is positive in second quadrant also. Sine is positive in second quadrant.
No, that's what. So, you will get sine inverse of this as an angle. Okay, that angle will lie in the first quadrant or the fourth quadrant, minus one quadrant. Okay, this angle, the RHS angle, will lie here. The LHS, if it's a sum of two angles which are greater than pi by 2, this won't return. The RHS will not return a value greater than pi by 2, right? All right.
Yes, sir.
So what will happen is that it will return a negative value. All right. But how would you deal with the negative value? Okay, suppose this is returning a positive value in the first quadrant. Okay. Sine inverse, these are all positive terms, right? Like sine inverse root 3 by 2 plus sine inverse root 3 by 2. Let's apply that formula here. Let's see what happens. Sine inverse root 3 by 2 into root of 1 minus root 3 by 2 is 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2 into 1 by 2. So this becomes 2 root 3 by 4, which is sine inverse root 3 by 2. Right? So what angle are you getting here? This is pi by 3. You're getting pi by 3 plus pi by 3 equal to pi by 3, which is wrong, right? Okay. So you're getting a corresponding first quadrant angle here. Okay, remember, you just put positive values of x and y. So whatever happens here, sine inverse, you'll get a positive angle here. Okay. You'll get a corresponding first quadrant angle. Okay. What do? You make that a fourth quadrant angle first. You're looking for a second quadrant angle, okay? So you can't simply add pi by 2. You can add pi and make it a second quadrant angle, but you can't simply add pi by 2. But if you add pi to this angle here, it'll become a third quadrant angle. That's not what you want. So you make it a second, like a fourth quadrant angle by putting a minus sign here. Okay. Minus of sine inverse x root of 1 minus y square plus y root of 1 minus x square. So you make it minus theta, but then you're looking for a second quadrant angle. All right. To get the second quadrant angle, what would you do to get the second quadrant angle? you'll simply add pi to it. Okay, got this? All right, so that happens when your x square plus y square is greater than 1. Okay, but if it's given to you that these are negative angles, for that x should be permissibly less than 0. Y should be permissibly less than 0. So we'll just ignore that case. But in case you're getting a negative angle here, minus pi by 3 and minus pi by 3. So it is all minus root 3 by 2. You get minus root 3 by 2. So minus pi by 3, minus pi by 3, you're expecting something in the negative second quadrant. Okay, the third quadrant basically, but think of it that way, negative second quadrant. Here, you're getting an angle in the first quadrant. Okay, you simply subtract pi from it to get it back into the negative second quadrant. Okay, got that? So here you're getting an angle in the first quadrant. Sorry, you're getting an angle in the fourth quadrant, minus root 3 by 2. Okay, so there you will take care of it this way, minus pi, minus of that, sine inverse x root 1 plus y square plus y root 1 minus x square. So here, so by default, we had x and y positive, okay? X and y positive. But here we'll have x less than 0, y less than 0, and x square plus y square greater than 1. Okay, this case you don't need to learn much actually. Don't worry about this too much because we are by default taking x greater than 0, y greater than 0. But when you see the case, you should be able to figure that out on your own. Got this? Guys, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts here, guys? Any doubts? Please ask if you have any doubts.
No.
Right, then go ahead to the next one. Okay, what will the standard formula be? Okay, wait. There's a sine inverse x minus sine inverse y. What happens here? Sine inverse x minus sine inverse y.
So the
Equal
same
to?
formula negative sign.
Okay.
Correct. 1 minus y square minus y into root 1 plus x square. All right. So this is where the condition will be x and y is between minus 1 and 1. And x square plus y square less than or equal to 1. Or second case is xy greater than 0 and x square plus y square greater than 1. So just take care of the signs by looking at the formula here. Okay. All right. So if this sine inverse x is positive, sine inverse y is positive, that'll take care of itself here. All right, by default. So whenever checking if they are of the same sign and x square plus y square greater than 1. Okay, so you can just directly apply the formula there. Right, if that's not the case, just take care of the angles by adding pi or subtracting pi accordingly. Or making it plus or minus and then adding pi accordingly. Okay. So yeah, we cos inverse x plus y. Did you note it down, guys?
Yes,
1
sir.
minute, sir.
Yeah. Guys, you know how to substitute, right? You put x equal to cos A. You put y equal to cos B. And then you'll get cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. This. So that's the kind of substitutions I want you to do. Okay, I hope you've not noted all this down. Have you?
Yes, sir.
You guys have done these formulas before, right?
No, sir.
No, sir. Sine inverse and cos inverse we didn't.
But in NCERT, it's there in the syllabus. Isn't it? It's not there.
So they removed some of it this year.
What, Aditi? What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I think they removed some of it this year.
Okay. All right. Okay, fine. That's all right. Okay, so let's start doing problems. Okay, what is tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 1 by 3?
Pi by
Hmm?
pi by
Tan inverse 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 by 1 minus 1 by 2, 1 by 3. Okay, so it becomes tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. Okay, so upper becomes 5 by 6. Niche becomes 1 minus 1 by 6, which is also 5 by 6. Both of them cancel out. And you get tan inverse 1, which is pi by 4. So once you get this first quadrant angle, okay, what you do is, what do we suppose to check? This is positive, x is positive, y is positive, that's fine. Now, what about xy? Is it greater than 1? Sorry, is it less than 1? Like 1 minus xy should be greater than 0, that way. Right. So, what happens? Xy is less than 1. So, this is fine. You're expecting a first quadrant angle. Pi by 4 is the answer. Got this? Okay. Now, cos inverse 3 by 5 plus cos inverse 5 by 13. So when you're confused what formula to use for cos inverse, you just learn cos inverse formula, right? If you're confused about the formulas, don't worry, just convert everything into tan inverse. That's it. All right. Cos is positive, you're expecting a first quadrant angle. You can write that in terms of tan inverse. This is also positive. So you can write it in terms of tan inverse directly. What will it be? Cos is 3 by 5, which means you make a triangle. 3 is here, 5 is here. 4 has to come here. So this becomes tan inverse 4 by 3 plus this 5 by 13. 5 by 13. Okay, will be converted into tan inverse 12 by 5. All right. When you add this, okay, so if you want the answer in cos inverse what? That also you can manage, not a big deal. Okay. So when you add this, what do you get? Tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus x into y. Right. So this becomes minus 16 by 5 is minus 11 by 5. This becomes 36 plus 20, which is 66 by 15. That becomes 22 by 5. This is nothing but tan inverse minus 2. Okay. So you have tan inverse A plus tan inverse B giving you a negative angle. Okay. So you are expecting a second quadrant angle, but you're getting a negative angle. So what do you do here?
Make it positive, sir.
Exactly. Wait. I think there's a calculation mistake. Just look into it. I'll just be back in a second. Okay.
Sir, it's 56 by 15.
Sorry.
56 by 15.
Yeah, it's 56. Yeah. Correct. Good. Okay. So this became tan inverse 20 plus 36, which is 56 by 15. And this became minus 11 by 5, which makes it tan inverse minus 56 by 33. Okay. So this is an angle of the minus 1th quadrant. And we can see here tan inverse of 12 by 5 is greater than pi by 4. Tan inverse 1 is pi by 4. Okay. So tan inverse 12 by 5, anything greater than that will be greater than pi by 4. This will also be greater than pi by 4. Similarly, tan inverse 4 by 3 will be greater than pi by 4. If you're expecting an angle in the 2nd quadrant, you get an angle in the 4th quadrant. So what do you do to balance it out? You add pi to it. As simple as that. So your answer becomes pi minus tan inverse 56 by 33. Now, if the question was asking, you have to write, since the question was in terms of cos inverse. So how do I write my final answer directly in terms of cos inverse? How do you do that, guys?
Just square the
You got this
56.
answer, right? Everybody, did you get this answer? Pi minus tan inverse 56 by 33. I might have gone a little fast there. That's why.
So I didn't cos inverse.
Go what?
I did in cos inverse formula.
Okay. But then, are you getting an angle in the 2nd quadrant?
Yes, sir. No. Okay, I got a negative.
You got a?
Negative.
You got a negative value inside the cos inverse, right?
Yes, sir.
That'll be in the 2nd quadrant. Don't worry. Okay. But I'm asking for this one. Like to get a negative, you can understand that here we have a 2nd quadrant angle because I wrote it as pi minus tan inverse 56 by 33. All right. But my question would have been like, suppose if all my options were in terms of cos inverse something. Okay. So I'll have to convert it back, right, to cos inverse. How would I do that? So I write this as pi minus cos inverse. So I'll have to make a triangle now again. Okay. 56, 33, and then 56 square plus 33 square. Listen, what is 56 squared? That will be 50 into 56 square. Oh, I'll have to calculate this. All right, so that's 36. 36, 280, 3136, 3136. And what is 33 square will be 9999, 1089. So 1089 is what you add to this. You get 5 here. Yeah, or you get a 2. Maybe you get a perfect square, who knows? 2, 4225. Okay, 4225 is nothing but 65 square. Right? Remember one of those tricks I taught you in the beginning? So this is 42 is 6 into 7. And 25 means the square ends with 5. Okay, so it's nothing but 65 square. So you have cos theta as 33 by 65. Okay, this is pi minus cos inverse x. That can be written as cos inverse minus x. So cos inverse minus 33 by 65. Remember, this is a second quadrant angle. All right. Cos inverse returns values between 0 and pi. So between 0 and 2 pi will come the positive values of x. The second quadrant angles will fetch you the negative values. So for example, this is minus 33 by 65 here. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts here, guys? The remaining. Or the sitting and solving. Are you facing any trouble?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll mix a previous chapter's question with this. Range of cot inverse log 4 by 5 x square minus 8x plus 4. Let's try this question once. Come on. You have to find the range here. You know the log x graph, right? If you know it, you'll be able to understand the fastest way of doing it. Log x graph. Okay, guys, how do you solve this?
So you said we need a log E graph, right, sir?
I'm sorry?
You said we needed a graph, right, sir? With
Yeah.
log E.
Exactly. Okay, first thing I want you to notice is the quadratic deep inside, embedded inside, like 5x square minus 8x plus 4. What can you say about this quadratic? D is b square minus 4ac. Okay, 16 into 5, 80, which is less than 0. Okay, that's all you care about. Basically, d is minus 16. Okay, so b square minus 4ac is negative. So it means that the quadratic is always above the x-axis. It's a upward facing quadratic because the leading coefficient is 5. Okay, positive. Now, there's an upward facing quadratic. What's the minimum value here? Minus b by 2a minus d by 4a. Okay, so the minimum value is minus d by 4a here. So that is minus of d, 16 by 4a, which is 20. So you get the minimum value. Okay, quadratic minimum value will be equal to minus d by 4a, which is O by 5. Got this? Now, this is the value that is, so what is being inputted to log values from 4 by 5 till infinity. Are you following? So this value will be 4 by 5. And to log, you're inputting values from 4 by 5 till infinity. Okay. So looking at log of 4 by 5. Values from 4 by 5 is included till infinity. Infinity won't be included. All right. So now log of 4 by 5 from 4 by 5 till infinity, what will these values be? Remember, log graph is like this, right? Guys, any doubts here? Log graph is like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please, I asked to check if you guys were listening properly. Thank you, Aditi, for responding. But the rest of you, please understand, log graph is not really like this. Okay, it's like this. This is log 4 by 5 graph. Okay. Basically, when this part, the base, is less than 1, but it should be greater than 0. When it's less than 1, the graph goes like this. When it's greater than 1 only, the graph went like this before. Right? Okay. So into this, we are inputting values from 4 by 5. Remember, if you input 4 by 5, you get the value 1 here. Okay. So from 4 by 5, so 4 by 5 should be somewhere here. Till infinity is the value we put. So we can see the value of log of this going from 1 till minus infinity. Okay. So this fetches values from 1 till minus infinity. And this is another way of writing it, minus infinity till 1. Okay. But then what did we do? This log value, whatever we get, is inputted to cot inverse. Okay, you can see it here. This cot inverse. It should take that value up. So it becomes cot inverse of a value between minus infinity and 1. Okay. Cot inverse of a value between minus infinity and 1. Minus infinity and all you get for cot when you put pi. Okay, you'll get all negative values of cot inverse. Cot takes negative values in the second quadrant, right? From pi by 2 to pi. So all negative values are there from 0 to minus infinity. So basically from pi by 2 to pi is involved for sure. Now 1, where does that happen? It happens at pi by 4. Is 1 included? Absolutely. Is pi included? No. All right. So this will be the answer we have. Did you follow?
Yes, sir.
This is doable, right?
So I didn't
Okay.
understand the last few steps.
Sorry. Which
I
step?
didn't get the last steps after like cot inverse.
Okay. Did you understand how minus infinity and 1 came here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After that, okay. From here till here. Okay. Now, okay, cot inverse graph will draw. Right. So, how does cot x graph look? Cot x. Cot x graph looks something like this, right? This is the value pi by 2. Right. How do you draw cot inverse x graph? Guys, how do you draw cot inverse x graph? You draw x equal to y line and then draw the image of it. Very bad image. Pi by 2, cot x becomes 0. Pi by 4 becomes 1. So that goes to infinity. Y equal to x line. Here. So the inverse would be okay. This is how the inverse would look. Okay, this is the wrong image. This is the right image. Okay, this white line is how cot inverse function looks. Okay, got this? It'll stay between 0 and pi. Okay? Are you getting this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So here I am inputting values into cot inverse from 1 to minus infinity. Okay. So when 1 happens, you know that this will take the value pi by 4. Okay. When 1 happens, the value will be pi by 4. All right. Now, 1 to minus infinity are the values you'll be putting. Right? This is a cot inverse x graph. Okay, do you understand this? From 1 to minus infinity, other values I'll be inputting to cot inverse. You know where that came from?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. Please ask doubts. Okay, that's why I'm waiting for that. Okay. So, all right. Anyway, so from 1 to minus infinity, you put different values. You can see that like cot inverse x, this graph, it returns values less than pi by 4 when you put values from 1 to infinity, 1 to plus infinity. You can see it returns value from 1 pi by 4 till 0. Okay, 0 is not included. Similarly, pi also won't be included. Okay. So when you input values lesser than 1, what happens? From pi by 4 till pi it goes. Okay. Is 1 included? Yes. So I will include pi by 4. Is infinity included? Minus infinity included? No, it can't be. Okay. So can I include pi? Pi is not an output that can come from cot inverse anyway. Okay. So pi will be like this and pi by 4 will be like this. Got this?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ask me doubt if you didn't understand. Okay. So while I was explaining this, I purposely sped some parts up so that you get confused. But is that okay? Are you able to follow why this worked?
Yes, sir. I saw that the chord graph at first was not correct.
Chord graph?
And chord graph was not correct the first time you did it. So
Yeah. That wasn't on purpose. That wasn't on purpose. That was a mistake. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Quickly solve this. Tan of cos inverse half plus tan inverse minus 1 by root 3. What is this? Tan of cos inverse half plus tan inverse minus 1 by root 3.
So 1 by root 3.
1 by root 3. Huh? Correct. How did you do this?
So this directly cos inverse half as pi by 3 and tan inverse minus 1 by root 3 as minus pi by 3.
Perfect. The best way of doing it. Okay. Cos inverse half is what? It's pi by 360 degrees. Tan inverse minus 1 by root 3 is what? This is minus pi by 6. All right. Okay, minus 30 degrees. Then what is pi by 3 minus pi by 6? So you get tan of pi by 6 again, and that'll come out to be 1 by root 3. Absolutely right. Okay. It was a simple question. Now, solve cos inverse x greater than cos inverse x squared. One. So now it would be nice if you can draw the graph. It'd be much more convenient for you. Cos inverse x, you know how the graph looks like, right?
So is it from above pi by 2 to infinity t values according to the
Pi by 2. X can't take a value greater than 1.
So the yes, that's as a y coordinate as 0 from 0.
0 to
-1 to 0, so
-1 to 0. -1 to 0. -1 is included, 0 is included. What is included? Okay, you take this between 0 and pi, cos x graph. Okay, 0 and pi. And then you draw y equal to x line. And then you take the thing around it. Yeah, this will be between -1 and 1. Correct. Between 0 and pi. This is the graph of cos inverse x. All right. Okay, this is the graph of cos inverse x. What about cos inverse of x squared? If you get cos inverse of x squared, one second. Almost there. Okay, Aditi, almost there. Now, cos inverse of x square. What will happen? So x square can be 1 here. X square cannot be -1. It can be 0. When you input this thing, cos inverse 0, you get pi by 2. Fine. Cos inverse 1, what will happen? You get 0 here. So you put x equal to -1 also, you'll get 0. Because it becomes cos inverse 1 only. Right? And then you will get a graph like this. Right? For cos inverse x square. Orange is cos inverse x square. The other one is cos inverse x. Okay. So here they are asking, where is cos inverse x greater than cos inverse x square? Where is that happening?
-1 to 0.
Exactly, that's it. All right. From -1 to 0. -1, yes. Remember, it's greater than, not greater than or equal. If it was getting equal to, 0 would have been included. All right. 0 is not included here. Okay, so that is how you get your answer. This will be there in the options also, okay? But this is what you need to check. Got this, guys? Any doubts?
Okay.
Okay.
No, sir.
There's another approach in which you can do this. Cos inverse x, okay, it's given that cos inverse x is greater than cos inverse x square. We can see that cos inverse is a decreasing function, right? Right. Cos inverse decreases like this. So decreasing function has a property. Okay, if you take 2 points, x1 and x2, and this is f of x. All right. If you say that f of x1 is greater than f of x2. What does that mean? X1 has to be lesser than x2. Okay. If it's a decreasing function, it's always true. If it's an increasing function, what would you say? If f of x1 is greater than f of x2, it means that x1 is greater than x2. But in a decreasing function, the opposite happens. If it's given that f of x1 is greater than f of x2, then x1 has to be less than x2. Is that clear to you guys?
Yes, sir.
If it's not, please tell me. Okay. These are concepts from calculus. So before that only, I'm just mentioning it. Any doubts? Any doubts here?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Then let's continue. If you have a doubt, just send it in the chat or whatever. All right, just raise your hand. So here it's a decreasing function. So you can see that what can you say about x and x square? Definitely x should be lesser than x square if it's a decreasing function. Okay, since it's a decreasing function, cos inverse, I can say that x is less than x square. And from here, I can solve this. X minus x square less than 0. In other words, x into 1 minus x less than 0, x into x minus 1 greater than 0. So x into x minus 1 will have two roots, 0 and 1. Where is it greater than 0? X is from 1 to infinity or minus infinity to 0, right?
Yes,
Yes, these steps, did you understand?
yes, sir.
Okay. So we have x between 1 and infinity or between minus infinity and 0. But we already know that x is between minus 1 and 1. Okay. So combining both of these equations together, look, it should be either greater than 1 or less than 0. That's the idea. But we know that it should be between minus 1 and 1. Okay. So 1 is not included. 0 is also not included. So we let that be. And we realize that the only thing common between minus 1 and 1 here is from minus 1 till 0, this area. Okay. So that will come to the answer as minus 1, comma 0. And this was our previous answer as well. Okay. Got this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, could you? Can you
Aditi, I couldn't hear you. Can you please send it on the chat or talk louder?
sorry.
No, don't be sorry and all. I heard that part. Okay. Just talk louder. Talk louder. Tell me.
Sir, I
Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Can't hear you. Can you send it on the chat? Aditi, please, could you send it on the chat? I can't hear you. I'll wait. Not an issue. For the rest of you, there's another question on the way. Aditi, your voice is breaking. Chat option here.
Sir,
Yes.
is it x greater than 1?
Well done there, Siddharth. Siddharth, right? We solved it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Guys, I'll just explain the previous method just once and then move on to this question. Okay. I'll just quickly do that and move on. All right. So the alternate method I told you was, what was it? It's algebraic. Okay. So cos inverse x is greater than cos inverse x square. Since it's a decreasing function, I'll have to say that the inputs there, x and x square, will be in opposite order. Basically, x square will be greater than x. Okay. So from when I solve that x square greater than x, I get x into x minus 1 greater than 0. All right. And that answer would be 1 to infinity and minus infinity to 0 for x. Okay. All right. And then, Aditi, are you able to listen? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So x goes from 1 to infinity or 0 to minus infinity. Did you understand this much?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but we already know that x is between minus 1 and 1. So because of that, we get x between minus 1 and 0. That's the only thing common between all of them. All right. This and this. 1 is not included. So from 0 to 1, I am not taking anything. Only the remaining part is from 0 to minus 1. Okay. So that is part of this lower part. Got that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now we have tan inverse x greater than cot inverse x. Let's do the graphical way first so that I can make you familiar with the graph here. If this is okay. This will be pi. This will be pi by 2. This will be minus pi by 2. You know that tan inverse x will be between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. So tan inverse x will come from minus pi by 2, hit 0 at 0, and then go till pi by 2 here. Okay. This is how tan inverse x goes. Now cot inverse x, what does it do? Cot inverse 0 is pi by 2. Okay. It starts from, it's a decreasing function. Okay. So it starts from pi, comes here, and then does this. Okay. So this is cot inverse x. And this is tan inverse x. All right. So what do we need to figure out? Where is tan inverse x greater than cot inverse x? So that happens from after this point. Okay, so this point is not included. But after this point, it happens. Where is this point? That is at the value 1, where both becomes pi by 4, right? So you can say from 1 to infinity, it will be greater than this. Got that? Everybody got this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or another way of solving it would be tan inverse x greater than cot inverse x. I change cot inverse x to pi by 2 minus tan inverse x. Okay. So from this, I'll get 2 tan inverse x greater than pi by 2. So tan inverse x is greater than pi by 4. All right. So since this is an increasing function, I can write it this way. This is nothing but tan inverse 1. So x is always greater than, right? Any doubts here?
No doubt.
Okay, right? Okay, here are some more formulas. Okay, please note them down. Here are the formulas. you were to guess formulas, what would it be? Alright. 2 cos inverse x, 2 tan inverse x. Okay, 2 sin inverse x. What would you write that as? Take sin inverse x as a. We have 2a. Imagine you're putting sin outside. What is sin 2a? 2 sin a cos a, right? And I put sin inverse x as a, which means sin a is x. All right. If sin a is x, then you get 2x. Okay, so the sin inverse should go, which means sin inverse will come here. It becomes sin inverse 2x into cos a, which is 1 minus x squared. I hope you're following this. Any doubts here?
No.
Okay, so similarly, this will become cos inverse. Yeah, hello? Come again? Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay. So here you take cos inverse x equal to a. So x is equal to cos a. What is cos 2 theta? 2 cos square theta minus 1. What is tan 2 theta? 2 tan theta by 1 minus tan square theta. Now, be very careful of which quadrant we are talking about. Okay. The second x crosses 1 by root 2. In other words, the sin inverse x crosses pi by 4. We are looking at a second quadrant angle, but this will give what? A first quadrant angle. So to convert that to a second quadrant angle, what I'll do is, so this is when x is less than 1 by root 2. Okay. Mod x is less than 1 by root 2. Mod x is greater than 1 by root 2. Actually, right? X is 1 by root 2. So once mod x is greater than 1 by root 2, what happens? This remains a first quadrant angle once mod x is greater than 1 by root 2. Why? Remember sin inverse x plus sin inverse y. So it becomes sin inverse x plus sin inverse x. That is basically what is happening here. Okay. So we are expecting, we want a second quadrant angle, but we'll be getting either a first quadrant or a fourth quadrant angle, minus 1 quadrant angle. Okay. So to convert, so what we get here, so we see that 2 is positive, x is positive, root of 1 minus x squared is positive. So we will get a first quadrant angle. First, we'll make that a fourth quadrant angle by writing the negative version of it. Okay. This is a fourth quadrant angle. Now to convert that to a second quadrant angle, I add pi to it. I've explained this enough number of times. I hope all of you got this. Okay, so you get a fourth quadrant angle. So you get a first quadrant angle. Convert that to a fourth quadrant angle by putting a minus sign, and then add pi to it to bring it to the second quadrant. Okay. Okay. So what about tan inverse x? When the denominator is positive, I'll say x is less than 1. Okay, so this is valid there. What if the denominator is negative? You're expecting a second quadrant angle here, and you're getting a negative denominator, which means it's a fourth quadrant angle here. So what do you do to that? You add pi to it. Are you following this? When x is greater than 1, the denominator becomes negative, you get a negative angle. Okay, basically you get something in the fourth quadrant. But then you have two positive angles adding up where x is greater than 1. So the angles are greater than pi by 4. Okay, so you're expecting an angle in the second quadrant, you're getting an angle in the fourth quadrant. To balance it out, you just simply add pi. Okay, that's it. Now, but your first approach, right, guys, how you solved it naturally, that is actually correct. Try to bring everything in terms of tan inverse and then deal with it. That's the easiest way to go about it. Got it? I really cannot hear you. Is it my laptop's problem? Or is it your lack of responses? I'm not able to figure it out.
Understood.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay. Was the concept clear to you?
Yes, sir.
The rest of you? There are a
Yes,
few
sir.
more here, right? So just the four of us.
Just hope it is.
Hmm? All right. Okay, guys, solve this problem. Let all that be. Forget about it. Tan inverse 2 plus tan inverse 3. Come on. What do we do here? This you already know is pi by 4, right? What about the rest? You can see this is an angle greater than pi by 4. This is an angle greater than pi by 4. Don't look at the formulas you wrote. Try to understand it. Try to build it into your intuition. Okay. You wrote formulas, good for you. You can refer to it, learn it again right after the class. But right now, when you're trying to learn, try to build it into your intuition. Okay. Whatever I'm saying. Tan inverse 2 is greater than pi by 4. Tan inverse 3 is also greater than pi by 4. All right. So when we add both of them up, let's see what happens with that tan inverse formula. We know that tan inverse formula is not what we're looking for. What is it? X plus y by 1 minus x into y.
Sir, is
And
the
that
answer
becomes,
pi?
yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay. So tan inverse 2 plus 3 by 1 minus this thing. So that becomes tan inverse 5 by minus 5, which is tan inverse minus 1, which is minus pi by 4. So when I take pi by 4 and minus pi by 4, I will get 0. But clearly I can see this is greater than 0, this is greater than 0, and this is greater than 0. All of them cannot be equal to 0. So we made a mistake somewhere. All right? Are you all following?
Yes, sir.
I just apply the formula tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy blindly. Okay, and I noticed that. So once I do that, I notice that this is a fourth quadrant angle. Okay, like negative 1 quadrant angle. Okay, I'm calling it negative 1 quadrant angle. I don't think anybody else does it. So this is a negative 1 quadrant angle. Okay, so here, what happens? We are expecting a second quadrant angle. This is greater than pi by 4. This is also greater than pi by 4. We are expecting a second quadrant angle. So to convert this to a second quadrant angle, I simply add pi to it. Okay, till now, if it wasn't clear, now it should be clear. Okay, and now the pi by 4 cancels out to get pi. And pi was the right answer. So that's absolutely good. Okay. Any doubts here, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Let's do this. Cos inverse 1 by 4 plus cos inverse minus 3 by 4. What happens here? The next question. Let's quickly do this. What do you get? Cos inverse 1 by 4. This is a negative angle, sorry, negative value. So you write it as plus pi minus cos inverse 3 by 4. And once you have this, what do you do next? Pi plus cos inverse. What is this? Cos inverse x minus cos inverse y. This will become cos
3 by
inverse.
16.
Sure.
I told the first step 3 by 16.
3 by 16.
X in XY, no, sir.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 3 by 16 plus, then what? 1 minus 1 by 16, root 15 by 16. Anyway, 16 will come here. Then 1 minus 9 by this thing will be root 7 by 4.
7 by 16.
Okay. Right. Then this becomes pi plus cos inverse 3 plus 105 by. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Google? Right. So here I got an angle like in the second quadrant. Okay. I got an angle in the first quadrant. Okay. And this is greater than pi by 4 as well. This is in the second quadrant. That's all we need to worry about right now. And it is much closer to, yeah, this is greater than 3 pi by 4 as well. All right. So when I add these two angles, I get an angle in the third quadrant. That's what I'm expecting. And that's exactly what I finally get as well. Okay. That's why it's pi plus cos inverse 3 plus root 105 by 16. Just make sure it all just falls into place in the last minute. Okay. So this will be 3 plus something greater than 10 by 16. Just perfect. Cos inverse. Okay. So pi plus that will be in the third quadrant. Got that? Okay. Now, simplify this, please. What is this equal to? So the trick here is writing this cos inverse neatly. Okay. Written as 1 by root 2 into root 2 by root 3 plus is it root 6? Oh, sorry, this becomes root 3. More 2 pops up here, right? And that cancels out. Okay. Okay, so this is nothing but what? Something's off, something's off. Cos inverse root 3 by 2 will be pi by 3, and this will be cos inverse of 2 by 3, which will be lesser than that. Okay, it should be root 3 by 2. Sorry, this is a mess. Once again, it will become the first term cos inverse root of 2 by 3 minus this is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B form. Okay, this is nothing but cos inverse cos A minus B. Okay, that will come out to A minus B itself. But then you have to make sure the bigger one, the smaller one is first, right? Sorry, the bigger one is first. Root 2 by 3 minus root 3 by 2 cos inverse cos inverse. Okay, then this becomes cos inverse root 3 by 2. What is cos inverse root 3 by 2?
Pi by 6.
That's the answer. Okay. I have a nice question here. Tan inverse 2 plus tan inverse 3 equal to sin inverse x. What's the value of x? Solve for x.
One by root 2.
Not minus 1 by root 2.
No, sir.
Okay, what did you get here? Tan inverse 2 plus tan inverse 3. What did you solve?
3 pi by 4.
Get 3 pi by 4 for tan inverse 2 plus tan inverse 3 equal to sin inverse x. Right? Now, remember that sin inverse x cannot return a value greater than pi by 2. Okay. So this equality can never happen. Alright, guys? Following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so will there be a solution? No. Just think like this. This is greater than or equal to pi by 4. Sorry, this is greater than pi by 4 for sure. This is greater than pi by 4. So this is a second quadrant angle which is not possible. There itself the solution should be none. Okay? Got it? I'll give you some homework questions as well. To solve for x, okay? Okay, these are your homework questions. Right? Will you take care of these?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then yeah, that's about the class for today. See you soon in the next class. Okay. If you have any doubts, please ask. We'll sit and solve. Otherwise, yeah, let me know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.